What's up YouTube, Capital G here, checking out the first revealed cards from the brand new core booster set Rise of the Duelist that just got revealed. If you guys don't know, Rise of the Duelist is the first core booster set of the Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's era, and for the first time in Yu-Gi-Oh! History, it appears at this moment that a core booster set will not follow the storyline of the anime. This is absolutely mind-blowing because the cards that they have revealed so far, including the cover card of this set, these are all Yugi Muto based cards. They're basically retrains of some of his old school support, and when I say old school, I'm talking like Duelist Kingdom old school, the first arc in the entire DM anime. So I don't know if Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's is going to be completely separate from our core booster sets or what, but this is definitely very interesting, and I might have to do a video topic on that alone. Anyways, let's go ahead and break down these new cards because, to be honest, even though they're based on some old school cards, they're actually pretty damn insane. This actually reminds me a little bit of the BLS support that we got from Dimension of Chaos, but these look significantly more promising. A lot of early two-card combos that can do a lot of crazy things. Anyways, let's go ahead and look at Gaia the Magical Knight, and if you guys don't know, this is all based on Gaia the Fierce Knight and Curse of Dragon, Gaia the Dragon Champion, all that stuff. Again, these are all cards used from like the first few duels that Yugi had in the anime. Anyways, Gaia the Magical Knight is a level 7 light warrior monster, 2300 attack and 2100 defense. This card is always treated as a Gaia the Fierce Knight card, and your second effect is a hard once per turn. The first effect says if you control no monsters, or if your opponent controls a monster with 2300 or more attack, you can normal summon this card without a tribute. Second effect, if this card is normal or special summon, you can special summon one level 5 dragon monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position. Now they also remade Curse of Dragon, so basically the two cards are supposed to work directly in tandem, just like they did in the old school duels in the anime, except the cards are just like way better now. I love the fact that you can just normal summon this guy even if you're going first. Doesn't even require your opponent to have a monster on field, but also if you have monsters on field and your opponent has a boss monster, you can just throw this card down as your normal summon. Now the dragon monster that they want you to use this magical knight with is Curse of Dragon, or it'll probably be called like Curse Dragon, Curse of Dragon, something like that. Anyways, this is a level 5 Dart Dragon monster. 2000 attack, 1500 defense. Both of your effects are hard once per turn. However, you can stack them in the same turn. Your first effect says if this card is normal or special summon, you can add one spell or trap that specifically lists the card Gaia the Dragon Champion in its text from your deck to your hand. Second effect, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one Gaia the Dragon Champion you control, negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent controls that have less or equal attack than that monsters. This card is actually really strong. Number one, it's a +1 on summon. It searches all the new cards that we're about to talk about, and like a couple of them, like the fusion card and the field spell, are absolutely ridiculous, so it can search those. It can also search some of the old cards. I'll talk about a combo a little later once we get to like the fusion monster that's actually really bonkers. And when you use this card for a fusion summon and you go into your new Gaia the Dragon Champion, that monster is going to be really beefy, and then you get to negate the effects of basically all your opponent's monsters. Just know that unless your opponent has like a 5000 attack monster, all their shit's gonna get negated when it comes to monsters. That's a little spoiler alert. Anyways, let's check out the new Catapult Turtle. The new Catapult Turtle is Bombarding Catapult Turtle. It's a level 4 warrior aqua monster, 1000 attack, 2000 defense. It's got a hard once per turn. You can tribute one monster, and that is a cost. Doesn't have to be itself, by the way. Special summon one Gaia the Fierce Knight monster or level 5 dragon from your hand or deck. So this card actually gets both of the cards that we just discussed. We know that if you summon the new Curse of Dragon, he's a +1 on summon, and we know that if you have the if you summon the Magical Knight, then you can actually get the dragon back from the graveyard, and then you can still end up going +1, and that's pretty good. Now the only card that was revealed when it comes to monsters so far that I didn't particularly like is the next monster that we're going to talk about. It's Soldier Gaia the Fierce Knight. This one is this one kind of missed me a little bit. It's a level 8 Dark Warrior monster, 2600 attack, 2100 defense. Your first effect is a quick effect. It says tribute 1 dragon fusion monster, special summon this card from your hand. Second effect, if this card is special summon, you can target 1 attack position monster on the field, change that monster to defense position. Third effect, you contribute this card, add 1 level 7 or higher warrior monster from your deck to your hand, except another copy of Soldier Gaia. So I don't really like this card. The new fusion is actually quite amazing. I don't really think that I would want to give it up to summon this card. This card just, like summoning it isn't really that easy. Like the first Gaia that we talked about, this card can technically search, but that Gaia is much easier to summon. You can just normal summon it if you don't have any monsters, then it puts the dragon on field, and that's pretty nice. But this card doesn't really feel like it's worth it. I think maybe Konami wants you to like tribute this guy in Search BLS, because a lot of these cards are light and dark, and obviously Yugi played BLS in the show. Maybe they're going to remake a new version of BLS in this booster set as well. If they reveal that, then you know, maybe I'll change my opinion. But this was the first card that I really didn't love all that much. Now we're going to talk about the new fusion monster. And I think right after that, I'm going to cover the new fusion spell, because you kind of need to like know about them both back to back to really understand how they work. Our new fusion monster, which is actually the cover card of this set as well, is Gaia the Magical Dragon Champion. It's a level 7 wind attribute dragon fusion monster. The materials are 1 Gaia the Fierce Knight monster plus 1 level 5 dragon monster. So basically the old cards, the new cards, you can use anything to kind of make this, like all the support works. And it says that all the effects are hard once per turn, but you can stack them all in the same turn. The first effect says, while this card is in the monster zone, its name is treated as Gaia the Dragon Champion. Second effect, during the main phase, and this is a quick effect, you can target 1 other card on the field. This card loses 2600 attack, and if it does, destroy that target. Third effect, when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can have it gain 2600 attack. So this is a card that's a little confusing to understand. The second effect is basically just a better version of Zodiac Trident. You can target any card during either turn and just pop that card, and you know, then this monster loses 2600 attack. I was definitely down with that, but then I thought about it. I was like, well, I'm gonna have a 0 attack monster. What exactly am I going to do with that? I get that I can gain 2600 attack if I run a monster over by battle, but it seems unlikely if my monster is 0 attack that I'm going to be able to do that. Don't worry, when we cover the fusion, it'll make a lot more sense why you lose 2600 attack. This card is really, really good, and I'm going to cover the fusion right now. You guys will understand why the card is like really strong. The fusion card is Spiral Fusion. It's a normal spell that says fusion summon a dragon fusion monster from your extra deck using materials from your hand or that you control as material. A Gaia the Dragon Champion special summoned by this effect gains 2600 and can make up to 2 attacks against monsters during each battle phase. So that is why the 2600 thing is in the second effect. It makes a lot more sense now. You understand that when you fusion summon your new Gaia Dragon Champion, it's going to be 5200 attack, which is actually insane considering it can attack 2 monsters. I mean, that can definitely be a 1 card kind of like OTK under the right circumstance if your opponent has 2 small monsters on the field, but at the same time you also get a pop on your opponent's cards and you're still going to be at 2600, and if you happen to run over one of their monsters, you're back to 5200. So you could potentially use that effect to pop something 3 times fairly easily, and it does have a ton of just base attack. I mean, I don't even know what 26 times 3 is, but if you run a monster over by battle, that's going to be your attack, and good luck taking that shit down in battle. It's actually kind of crazy. So I'm really liking the new fusion monster and the new fusion spell. Now the field spell, surprisingly, might actually be better than both of the cards, because the field spell really allows you to put everything together. The field spell is called Charging Gaia. It's a field spell, and the second effect is a hard once per turn. Your first effect says if you control a Gaia the Dragon Champion, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects during the battle phase. So when you're attacking with that 5200 attacker, your opponent can't use any battle phase tricks. They can't use any mirror forces or any random things like Honest Neos or any of that jazz. Second effect, activate one of these effects, so you can reveal one Gaia the Fierce Knight monster in your hand, and you get to add a level 5 dragon monster from your deck to your hand, or the reverse. You can reveal the level 5 dragon and you can add the Gaia monster. This is the effect that makes the deck, to me, feel pretty consistent, because we already talked about how the new Gaia Knight, he can basically special summon the new Curse of Dragon from your hand, and then the Curse of Dragon can get the fusion spell. Well, now you don't need to open with both of them. If you have one of the pieces, you can just search the other piece, and then you can obviously drop your new Gaia Fusion monster. He's going to be 5,200. He's going to be able to attack your opponent twice, and they're not going to be able to do anything in the battle phase, which is just absolutely nutty. Now, the thing is, as good as the new Gaia Dragon Champion Fusion monster is, apparently there was another Gaia the Dragon Champion. I'm not talking about like the old school one from like LOB or some shit. I'm talking about Konami made a new one a few years ago, and you can also go into that card, and when you go into that card, you get to search this other continuous spell called Spiral Spear Strike, and what that card allows you to do is anytime a Gaia the Dragon Champion inflicts damage, you get to draw 2 cards, and then you get to discard 1. And by the way, not a hard once per turn, so essentially if you open with the field spell and either the Gaia or the Curse Dragon, it's basically a 2-card combo to go into that. You end with a 5,200 attack monster, and then you get to declare 2 attacks, obviously, and if you do any battle damage, you draw 2 cards and you discard 1. And again, it's not a hard once per turn, so basically you can draw 4 cards just with a 2-card combo. It's actually pretty insane. Shout outs to the guys at Reddit for pointing it out, but I thought that was just a really nice thing to note, and I feel like 100% you're going to play that combo, because it is just a 2-card combo. If you're going second, that's probably going to be your bread and butter to win. Anyways, let's talk about the last couple of traps. The first trap card is Spiral Discharge. This is a continuous trap, with the second effect being a hard once per turn. First effect, while you control a Gaia the Dragon Champion in a monster zone, your opponent cannot target other monsters you control for an attack except your Gaia the Dragon Champion. Second effect, when an attack is declared involving your Gaia the Dragon Champion, you can target a card on the field and destroy it. This card is it's okay. I generally don't like these type of cards that require one specific monster and then like one specific action. The fact that you have to have a battle with that monster. I don't know, the Gaia monsters kind of feel like win conditions, so I don't feel like you need to even pop things on your opponent's side of the field. I just feel like you should be able to kill them with the new fusion, so I don't necessarily know if I would play this. I feel like the field spell and the fusion spell are perfectly fine enough. The next card is the last one. It's a new trap card. It's called Spiral Reborn, and it's a hard once per turn. It says target 1 level 7 or higher dragon monster in your graveyard, special summon it. A Gaia the Dragon Champion summoned by this effect cannot be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effect. So basically, it's a searchable Call of the Haunted for the archetype. If you bring back either one of your fusion monsters, that monster becomes a lot more strong. It basically just becomes a Magispector at that point. It's not going to have the double attack though, which is a little concerning, but if you bring out the new Gaia Dragon Champion, you still get to blow up a card on your opponent's side of the field, so that's definitely really good. This could potentially be like a one-of, but what do you guys think of this support? Like, I read it at first, and right at the time that I got to the fusion spell, I was like, oh yeah, this shit's this shit's coming together. I actually like this. This feels like a beatdown deck with enough offense to potentially OTK your opponent. Reminds me a little bit of like, it's giving me a little like Trains vibe, where this deck should be able to like kill your opponent within maybe by turn 2 at the worst. But I'm definitely liking it. Doesn't feel like it needs that many resources to get going. Again, you have very good 2-card combos. I do think that you really need the field spell to get rolling, but the new fusion giving your monster 5,200 attack, pretty damn good. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.